Most buyers walk into a new construction sales office and accept the first number they're given, and builders are hoping that's the mistake you make. Today I'm going to show you exactly how negotiation works with new construction builders, what moved the needle and what doesn't, and how to walk away with a significantly better deal than the buyer who walked in before you. Now, before we get into the tactics to negotiate, I need to make sure we are starting from the right mindset, because negotiating with a builder is completely different from negotiating on a resale home. And if you go into it treating it like it's the same kind of deal, you're gonna leave frustrated and probably with money on the table. So here is the fundamental difference. When you make an offer on a resale home, you are negotiating directly on the purchase price with a motivated seller. Builders are not motivated sellers in the same way. They have a pricing structure, a community to sell out, and they have investors and corporate oversight really watching those margins very, very closely. They can't slash the price of a home because it sets the precedent that affects every other buyer in that community and then every future phase that they build. So here's what that actually means for you. Builders almost never negotiate significantly on the base price of the home. Asking a builder to drop the price by like $30,000 on a $500,000 home, it's almost always a dead end. That's not really where the negotiation lives. So if that's not it, then where does the negotiating happen if not the price of the home? Let me go ahead and walk you through 5 areas where builders genuinely do have room to wiggle for you. And I want to be really specific and not vague, because you need the advice that's going to help you when you're actually sitting across the sales rep. So I would say number 1, closing cost assistance. This is one of the most common builder incentives and one of the most valuable. Builders will frequently offer to cover a portion of your closing costs, 5, 10, thousand, sometimes maybe more depending on the community and the price point. This is real money that directly reduces what you bring to the closing table. Always ask for it, even if they don't actually advertise it. Ask anyways, there's typically room for it. The worst they can do is say no. Number 2 will be design center credits. If you're buying a to-be-built home, a design center credit gives you a dollar amount to spend on the upgrades at the design center. A $15, $25 design center credit at a $500,000 home is a meaningful negotiation tip. And here's the thing, the design centers where builders actually make a significant portion of their margin, so they have more flexibility to give credits here than they do on the base price of the home, because the upgrades are already marked up significantly. A $10,000 design center credit might be costing the builder $4,000, so they definitely can afford to give it to you. Number 3, lot premium waivers or reductions. Every community has lots that are priced at a premium. Lots that back to the water, corner lots, larger square footage, better views. These premiums are negotiable, especially on lots that have just been sitting. So if a premium lot has been on the market for a while and not moving, the builder wants it sold, and that's leverage for you. Number 4 would be mortgage rate buydowns. This is one of the biggest incentive tools builders are using right now in 2026. A builder will offer to pay to buy down your mortgage rate for like the first 2 or 3 years, or maybe even the life of the loan, through their preferred lender. A rate that is a full point lower on a $500,000 mortgage honestly can save you hundreds of dollars a month. Always compare this to taking a closing cost credit instead. Sometimes the credit is worth more depending on how long you stay into the home. Okay, number 5, move-in packages and like extras, so like appliances, blinds, fencing, just the smaller ticket items. Builders will sometimes throw that in just to close a deal, especially on a spec home that they want to move quickly. Do not overlook these. A full appliance package can be worth $5,000 to $8,000. Now here's something that most buyers never think about, but makes a huge difference in how much negotiating power you have, and that would be timing. Builders operate on a quarterly and annually sales cycle. So at the end of the quarter, March, June, September, December, builders have sales targets that they're trying to hit. When a sales team is behind on their numbers, with 2 weeks left in the quarter, the incentives get better, sometimes significantly better. I've seen builders offer closing cost packages in the final 2 weeks of a quarter that were double what they were offering at the start of the same quarter. The end of the year is particularly powerful. Builders want to close out their fiscal year strong, and they want to reduce their spec home inventory. And they want to carry over as little unsold homes into the new year. If you're in a position to close before December 31st, use that as leverage. Tell them you're ready to move quickly and then see what comes back. The other timing factor is where a community is in its sales cycle. Early in a new community opening, builders are less likely to negotiate heavily because demand is fresh and they really want to establish their pricing. So in the middle of a community, when certain floor plans or lots have just been sitting, negotiation room opens up. And in the final phases, when a community is selling out, urgency shifts right back to the buyer because inventory is limited. So knowing where a community is in its cycle and then reading the room on how motivated the team is probably one of the most valuable things you can do to bring new construction negotiation in. Now let me talk about builder incentives specifically because this is an area where a lot of buyers get confused or sometimes misled. Builders promote incentives constantly. You'll see signs, ads, emails saying things like limited time offer, $20,000 in savings this weekend only, special financing available, blah, blah, blah. But some of them are structured in a way that actually sounds better than what it really is. Here's what I want you to watch out for. When a builder offers you a large incentives, but requires you to use their preferred lender, that's not always a bad deal, but you need to compare it. Sometimes the builder's preferred lender might offer a slightly higher rate than what you can get in the open market. And the incentive is essentially covering that difference. You end up breaking even or even slightly behind. Other times the preferred lender genuinely has a good rate and the incentive is real money. The way to know the difference is to get a competing quote from an outside lender before you sit down with the builder's lender. Then you can kind of compare apples to apples. If the builder lender is within a quarter point and you're getting $15,000 in closing cost assistance, that's likely going to be a good deal. If the builder's lender is a full point higher and the incentive is $5,000, you need to rerun the math on it, just double check. The other thing to understand about incentives is that they're almost always tied to using the builder's lender and closing on their timeline. If you miss a closing date because of a financing issue or a title issue, that incentive could go away. So make sure you just understand exactly what conditions are attached to any incentive before you sign anything. Now I want to spend a little extra time on the lot premium, specifically because this is one of the most overlooked negotiation opportunities in new construction, and it's one where buyers leave real money behind often. Every community has a lot map, and every lot has a base price plus a premium. Premium lots, so these are the ones that back into the water, the preserve, might have a larger footprint, anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 or more, depending on the price of the home and the community. Buyers often just accept that the premium is there without question because they fell in love with the lot. Here's what I want you to know. Those premiums are not fixed, especially on lots that have been on the market for more than 60 to 90 days. Builders will negotiate on the lot premium. They would rather reduce the lot by $10,000 and sell the home than carry that lot unsold through another quarter. The way to approach this is to ask specifically about the lot premium in isolation from the base price. Ask the sales rep how long that lot has been available. Ask if there's any flexibility on the lot premium if you are ready to move forward. You are not asking them to reduce the home price. You're asking about a specific line item that has room to move. And if you are choosing between two lots, one with a lower premium and one with a higher one, use that comparison as leverage. Tell the sales rep, hey, we're deciding between lots, and ask what it is that they can do to help make the premium lot more competitive. Even if it is internal and the same community, that will create urgency for the sales team. All right, let me talk about the design center because this is where a lot of buyers get in trouble and they overspend, but it's also where some of the best negotiation opportunities live if you know what you're doing. The design center is an experience. Toll Brothers, Dreamfinders, ICI Homes, they all have beautiful design centers with helpful design consultants and gorgeous options everywhere you look. And it's designed to make you want to upgrade everything. I mean, the countertops, the flooring, the cabinets, it all looks incredible in person, and the consultant is very skilled at helping you envision how to bring it all together. Here's what you need to know walking in. The markup on design center upgrades can be significant. Extended tile flooring that cost $8,000 at the design center might cost you $3,000 installed after closing, right, by your own floor company. The lighting packaging, $4,000 at a design center, it can often be replicated for $1,500 to $2,000 with somebody else. So it's like the upgrades that are genuinely worth doing at the design center are gonna be your structural ones. Things that would be difficult or impossible to change after closing: extended covered lanais, additional windows, pocket sliding doors, 3-car garages. bedroom conversions. These are the things I tell my buyers to prioritize because they cannot easily be added later. The finish upgrades, so like flooring, countertops, fixtures, are the things to be selective about. I actually have a video covering the 10 upgrades not to make in Northeast Florida, so stay tuned to the end for that. But pick the ones that genuinely matter to your lifestyle and leave the rest for after closing when you can shop around and get them for less money. And if you have negotiated a design center credit going in, use it strategically. On the structural upgrades first, then apply whatever is left to the finish upgrades that you care the most about. Now, I want to pause now before we get into the one thing that changes the entire negotiation. Everything that I just walked you through, the timing plays, the incentive comparison, the lot premium negotiation, and the design center strategy, this is the knowledge that buyers who work with an experienced agent like myself brings to every single transaction. And not because I'm doing anything secret, but because I do this every single week. I know which communities are at the end of a quarter push. I know which lots have been sitting. I know which incentives are genuinely valuable and which ones look better than others. Having me in your corner costs you absolutely nothing. The builder pays my commission. You'll pay the same price either way. So if you're thinking about buying new construction in Northeast Florida, reach out to me before you walk into any sales office. Having a professional in your corner, especially if you're coming from another state, it's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of money. I would love to connect with you. Now, one more thing to go over, and then we can go ahead and wrap this video up. The single most important thing I can tell you about negotiating with a new construction builder, and it's something that most buyers kind of figure out too late. Everything is easier to negotiate before you sign the contract. I know that sounds obvious, but once you're under contract on a new construction home, your leverage kind of disappears. The builder has your deposit, they have your commitment, the incentive windows have closed, and the lot premium is locked in. Your design center appointment is scheduled, and pretty much at this point, you're just along for the ride. I have heard horror stories of things going wrong because it wasn't correct on the front end. Before you sign the contract, that is when you have the maximum leverage. That is when the builder wants something from you that they don't have yet, which is your commitment. And that moment is exactly when you should be asking for everything. The closing cost credits, the design center allowance, the lot premium reduction, the rate buy down comparison, all of it before you sign a single page. The buyers who get the best deals on new construction are the ones who do their homework before they fall in love with the home and who understand the negotiation landscape before they even walk into the sales office, and have somebody in their corner who has had this exact conversation with these builders over and over all the time. So that's the real negotiation playbook for new construction in 2026. If you know how to use it, you're going to be significantly in a better position than the majority of people going into the same sales offices today. All right, y'all, if this video gave you something that you did not walk in with, this is exactly why I make these videos. I help buyers relocating to Northeast Florida navigate new construction purchases the right way, from choosing the right community and the right builder to negotiate the best possible deal and making sure you are protected at every single step in the process. Now, if you're thinking about buying new construction in Northeast Florida, just reach out to me before you go anywhere near a sales office. That way we can figure out early what would actually make sense for you and then plan your visit accordingly. Subscribe to the channel. I have new construction home tours and buyer tips going up every single week. And drop a comment below. What is the part of the new construction process that feels probably like the most confusing or intimidating to you right now? I read every comment. I'll definitely respond. Watch one of these videos I have on the screen here to understand new construction a little bit better and to see what homes are available in the different communities. God bless you and your family. I will see you in the next one.